Hang on. I'm lost without my red Sharpie. It's like a crutch. I need to have that red Sharpie in my hand, and then I'm ready to rock and roll. Hello, Michigan. Hello, everybody. Play Gun Lake Casino and Sportsbook. Yeah, the only casino and sportsbook that I recommend in the great state of Michigan. Mackinac Island. I haven't been there in like 2 years. I got to get back to Mackinac Island. But I'm looking at you, Lansing, and I'm looking at you, Dearborn and Detroit, calling all Michiganders. The Play Gun Lake Casino and Sportsbook app, it's all your favorite casino games that you can take on the go, odds and slots and bets and everything. And especially with football season here, isn't it fun to have skin in the game? It's funny because when they play the big game, next February, we're all going to be in on prop bets. Well, you could always be in on prop bets. Play Gun Lake Casino and Sportsbook app, plus the roulette and baccarat, Texas Hold'em, and more, all the progressive slots, tons and tons of fun stuff. You could be on the boat, on the beach, in your Barca Lounger, wherever you might be. New users get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're not a winner in the first 24 hours. Play Gun Lake Casino and Sportsbook app. The casino bonus has got to be wagered. Terms and conditions do apply. See the website at playgunlake.com for all the details. Got to be 21 and in Michigan. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Headlines from Smerconish.com, the Friday edition of the newsletter. Of course, the lead story today needed to be about Trump's surrender, and we needed to show, the mugshot now being viewed all around the world. I'm holding in my hand the New York Post just by way of illustration. The man is now prisoner number 24601. Wait for it. Who is prisoner 24601? That would be Jean Valjean, right? I mean, when I heard that Trump is prisoner P01135809, all I could think of is, at least he's not 24601. Jean Valjean. He surrendered in prime time. That was negotiated with Fulton County. What else would you expect? What else would you expect? That one day after the Republican debate, Donald Trump would surrender at 7:30 in prime time. I have to say this. I have to make this point. I was watching, as I always recommend you watch. Get out of your bunker, your silo. Click around. Check everybody out. I wanted to see, of course, how CNN was covering it. I wanted to see how MSN was covering it. I wanted to see how Fox News was covering it. The cable networks, to my eye, clicking around, maybe I missed something, but they all covered the motorcade. They all covered that Trump flew into Atlanta. What's it called? Hartsfield? The airport. I've been there many, many times. If it were me, I'd have stopped at the Varsity and had a hot dog. But anyway, everybody covered like the motorcade, like it was OJ's, white Ford Bronco, over to Fulton County. And then he's inside Fulton County. I thought we were going to get to see what went on inside Fulton County, but we didn't. And then he leaves Fulton County Courthouse, or the jail, actually, goes back to the airport. And as between the cable outlets, only Fox carried live what he said. Less than 60 seconds, like 50 seconds of a statement. And it was made clear both at CNN and MSNBC, we are not going to carry live, but if it's newsworthy, we'll tell you what he said. It didn't sit well with me. And all I can tell you is that if I were live on radio, if this had all gone down and I were sitting in my studio and watching on the cable monitors the movements and covering all of that, and then when it came time for him to speak, to jump out of it, I would not have done that. I just think that if you're covering incessantly, as we all are, all the charges, the 91 charges against Donald Trump, and bringing on legal expert after legal expert to parse each and every one of them, then if he's going to speak for a couple of minutes before he gets on the plane, I think there's no harm. In fact, I think there's an obligation to take live, if you're able, what it is he's saying. Just my 2 cents. To expand his own ability to reach his audience, I noticed that he rejoined Twitter, now called X. This was his first tweet back in a long time, I guess since his account was suspended in January of 2021. Election interference, never surrender. The post immediately garnered more than 14 million views. That was 50 minutes after going live. There's a lot of really interesting reporting about Trump's surrender. You'll pardon me for this. This will sound a bit petty, but he had to volunteer his height and weight. The tale of the tape for former President Trump, according to him, 6'3", wait for it now, 215, a nearly 30-pound drop from when his weight was disclosed during his last White House physical. All right, good for him. God bless him. How about Rudy Giuliani? His jail records initially listed him at 5'9", 180. Later the same day, the numbers had changed without explanation to 5'11", 230. I guess they were just alternative facts. The Washington Post reporting today, part of the interest in Trump's weight and height stems from his own sensitivity about the stats. Aren't we all? I lied in my high school football program. I said I was 5'10". I'm 5'9". He said in 2016 that he was 6'3", 236, which the medical community considers overweight. If he were 6'2", as listed in his driver's license, he would be considered obese. How about this? January of 2018. A White House physician examined the 6'3", 239-pound president, a number that many online noted would put his body mass index at 29.9, just below the 30 threshold for medical obesity. So nothing will inspire you to drop weight like the taking of a mugshot and the recognition that you're going to have to reveal your vitals. He had to give a lot of thought to that pose, right? You know, he's had a long time to think about the fact that his mugshot was going to be taken. To me, first of all, the lighting's bad. Like, take it from somebody who works in television somewhat. The lighting is bad, and I think it's a little out of focus, the Trump mugshot. It's interesting. The Wall Street Journal today quotes an expert. They say, the mugshots coming out of Atlanta this week have been both cinematic and mundane. The photos showed political power players standing at unflattering angles and in bad lighting, my point. Giuliani, once a federal prosecutor, looked displeased to be at the bottom rung of the justice system. And then there's a quote from Eric Desenhall, chair of the Desenhall Resources. They're a crisis management firm, saying, I thought Giuliani's face was just about right. He didn't look besieged. He didn't look thrilled. It is best, says the expert, for defendants to keep a neutral expression. White-collar defendants can use the photos to show a judge and jury that they take their cases seriously. They also note the fact that Rudy Giuliani, in this case, had a flag pin on, maybe trying to inspire recollection of his role post-September 11. Well, Giuliani and Trump, they're all in good company. For my YouTubers, for those watching me or who will watch me on YouTube, what we call our thumbnail, that slide that advertises or gives a preview of what I'm going to discuss, was very carefully thought out today. Because, yes, we have Donald Trump's thumbnail, but we put other celebrity mugshots in there, including Charlie Sheen. I tried to come up with like one word as to how each of these individuals look. And I'm looking at it on a conniving. Conniving would be my word for Charlie Sheen. Tiger Woods, had to go with the Tiger Woods. This is terrible, isn't it? Like, a mugshot captures you at the lowest of your depth. Bewildered is what I would say about the Tiger Woods mugshot. Nicole Richie. I don't know. Here's my word for that mugshot. Sultry. What do you think? Sultry, right? And then Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra, by the way, what was the charge? Carrying on with a married woman. I've seen this one on T-shirts, the Sinatra mugshots. What would I say about that? He's like a young rebel. He's like a rebel with a cause. I guess the cause was spending time with married women, but that was the charge back in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken. Nick Nolte, the granddaddy of them all. And the poor guy, Jesus, such a good actor. Rich Man, Poor Man. Anybody remember Rich Man, Poor Man? God, I loved that back in the 70s. What would I say about Nick Nolte? He's the Mad Hatter. Robert Downey Jr., Robert Downey, smug. Smug would be the word that I would use to describe that. Trump, which I've already shown you. You know, Trump, the word that sums up Donald Trump's mugshot is what he wanted. Defiant. Defiant. And I got to tell you, we could only fit like half a dozen celebrity mugshots in our slide, in our thumbnail. What I didn't stick in the thumbnail, Bill Cosby. I mean, the cause of, one of his arrests for sexual assault. How about this? Do you know that Bill Gates has a mugshot? Yeah, Bill Gates driving without a license. He's just like a happy geek. Look at him. Look at him in that picture. David Bowie. You got a lot of rockers, and it's usually drugs. His was a pot possession. Justin Bieber is a drunken driving charge. He's there. I've never heard of this before. I pulled these all from a story that had assembled celebrity mugshots. Matthew McConaughey. Now, here's the thing about this. What was he arrested for? Allegedly, reportedly, all I know is that I've got this report of his mugshot. Naked Bongo? The hell is that? And the neighbors called? I gotta spend more time on that. One more. Mick Jagger in a suit, no less, for possession of amphetamines back in the 1960s. He looks thinner today and more healthy. And maybe it's because of the amphetamines, Michael. Yeah, I guess so. All right, now listen to this. Donald Trump didn't wait. He did not wait for his real mugshot to be taken on Thursday in Georgia. He was already selling fake mugshot merch on mugs and T-shirts, complete with height markers and bearing the date of his New York indictment, for which his picture was not taken. So he's already had a whole line of merch out there. But now with the real mugshot, first time taken, he's got a slew of things that he is selling on his Trump page, all with what he calls the never, surrender. You can get a never surrender white premium cotton tee, a black premium cotton tee, short sleeve, long sleeve. He's got a coffee mug. He's got a beverage cooler. He has a vinyl bumper that you can put on the back of, your SUV or your F-150. And then he's got hats and flags and so on and so forth. But immediately, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of Kamala Harris when she knew there was going to be that takedown of Joe Biden in the debate on busing. And by the time the debate ended, she had merch that she was selling about how, I was that kid on the bus. I got to tell you something. I'd be deceitful by omission if I didn't tell you that, say what you will about Donald Trump, but the guy is like a frickin' master of merchandising. So I took a look at his stuff, and then I went over to Smerch Merch at Smerconish.com just to see... just to see how my pricing compares to his. So let's see. All right, Trump has got the Never Surrender white tee for $34. Now at Smerconish.com, our price point, I feel good about this, is $28. And you've got the limited edition Smerconish tee in black. I don't know how many of these are left, but I see it on the website, so I guess we've still got some free Harry T-shirts, $28. The tie-dye, let me just see what else is up there. Oh, okay. What else am I looking at? The beach towel is $18. You know what? The people who work with me on merch said, Michael, you said that, hold on, you're scrolling too quickly. Go back to yeah. They said, why would you have told your audience that the beach towel that you sell for $18 is a little thin? It's because I bought a bunch of them, and they're a little thin. Do they look cool? They look cool. Maybe you won't use it on the beach. Maybe you'll use it to dry off your car at a car wash. But anyway, Frisbees, $12. I feel good about our price point for $12 for Frisbees. Balance Delivered Daily shirts are $28. All of our T-shirts are $28. Oh, here's another one. Trump, Randy, can you go back to Trump's merch? Trump sells a Never Surrender white coffee mug for $25. Okay? Look at that. We have my morning fuel is diesel, black coffee mugs. I'm sure the quality's the same. They're all the same. And in purple, it says my morning fuel is diesel against black. We sell them for $12. So if Trump is getting 25, I'm a little light on mine. All right, how about this? And I wear it every day because I just love it. I'm wearing mine. PJ, who's in studio with me today, is wearing his. I think the coolest item that we have in terms of Smerch merch are the hats, the black hats. They're very understated. It's got the little purple logo in the front. Like nobody's, I don't want to see my name emblazoned somewhere. It's just subtle and it's cool. We sell them for $30. Trump's MAGA 47 hats, go back to his page. He sells those for $40. So I'm $10 under Trump. So how do I feel about it? I feel like our stuff has a pretty good price point. Smerch merch. After you go and get your Trump mugshot tee, go to Smerconish.com and take a look at the Smerch merch. More headlines from Smerconish.com, the Friday edition of the daily newsletter. It's been quite a week. The debate, then Donald Trump's surrender, a lot of interest, apparently 12.8 million viewers. That's a big number for Fox. Fox has the next debate at the Reagan Library as well. We're not talking, the same numbers as back on Fox in 2016, but a big number. And not only did Fox get a big number, but Fox, MSNBC, and CNN all benefited later at night with their post-debate coverage. So, for example, from 11 to 1 a.m., MSNBC had an average total audience of 2.1 million and 257 in the demo. That's 25 to 54-year-olds. CNN had about half that, 1.2 million and 281,000, slightly better in the demo than MSNBC. Yesterday's poll question at Smerconish.com asked who most distinguished themselves in the debate, and we had 24,000 plus who voted. 51.34% said Nikki Haley. That's not a bad answer, but it's the wrong answer. The right answer, and I've been proven by all of the coverage that this individual has garnered since the debate, it was Vivek Ramaswamy. Remember, for better or worse, who most distinguished themselves. There are a whole slew of people now talking about Ramaswamy who had no idea who he was before the debate transpired. I stand by my thoughts that I expressed here yesterday, having had 24 hours more to think about it. Nikki Haley had a good night. Pence was better than expected. DeSantis, don't have much to say. Christie played his role. And here's the poll question that I'm going with today at Smerconish.com. Will new polling show that the combination of the Republican debate and Trump's booking shook up the GOP race? The polling, what's it going to show? Once we digest the debate and also the booking, the mugshot, what's to come with Trump, what is the impact between now and, the next debate at the Reagan Library on the GOP race? Did it just get shaken up? And if you're curious as to my thoughts, my gut tells me that Trump will lose a few, which he can afford. If he was at 62%, going into this, maybe he loses a couple of points. I don't think DeSantis gains. If DeSantis is at 15 or 16, I think he probably loses a few. I think that Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley both benefit. But beyond that, I think it pretty much probably stays the same. That's my gut, but that's what I'm seeking in today's poll question. Your response to what is the impact of all of this? My God, here we are. It's the 25th of August, final week of August, and here comes Labor Day weekend next weekend, and the kids are back at school, and they're playing football, and so on and so forth. It's supposed to be a sleepy time. It has been a ferocious news cycle. Well, what does it all mean in the context of the election? Go and vote at Smerconish.com on that. Finally, with TC away this week, she'll be back on Monday. I've neglected a lot of your suggestions in terms of poll questions. Martha Sherman, keep them coming because I do read them all. Martha Sherman in Sarasota. If Trump gets reelected, will he be even more brazen in disregarding the law? Of course, you've got 40% of Republicans thinking he did more to uphold democracy after January 6th, or after the election, I should say, including January 6th. So, it's a Rorschach test. You say disregard of the law. They say upholding the law. Kia Newman, should Smerconish facilitate a presidential debate? I'd love to be in that mix, and I think they're going to struggle. I think they are really, remember, in primary season, the parties get to pick the media outlets. Then it's the Commission on Presidential Debates. And you stop and think about the universe of people who are out there who could moderate a debate and be acceptable to both sides. It's a very limited universe. Should debates be conducted without an audience, asks Jeremiah in Chicago. Yes, I mean, if for the substance, but for the watchability, I made this argument yesterday. Fewer people would watch. It wouldn't be so exciting, and maybe that's not a bad thing. How about a final debate lineup of Biden versus Haley and Harris versus Christie? I guess that means, Brian Hansen in Appleton, Wisconsin, that you think that the ticket ought to be Haley and Christie. I just don't know how the MAGA base would rally around Chris Christie, given how antithetical he's been to Donald Trump in the last 6 months. Prior 6 years, a totally different story. Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe on YouTube. I will see you tomorrow on CNN, usual time, 9 a.m. Eastern time, YouTube Live at 7:30 Eastern time in the morning. Listen to TC After Dark. I'll be back here on Monday. See you then.